All right. Morning, everybody. Good morning, all. Today is, what's today? Hello and welcome. Today is Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. And, for those who are in the know, 2020, May 12th, is the day that the Bitcoin halves. Now, I don't completely understand it, but basically they split the Bitcoin in half, or the number of miners in half. And so today's a big day for the Bitcoin. Actually, it's 8 o'clock in the morning on the 12th, so in another few hours, it'll be a big day in the United States for this. I don't know how it works, what timeline they go over. Still over a month or spring left. You mean of spring left. And today is the first day that it's actually been a little bit cool here. Usually I'm complaining about how hot it is. I'm still complaining about it. But it's 81 degrees right now at 8:05, and it feels like 90. But I was getting ready. I thought about going out this morning at about 7 o'clock. And I thought, well, where am I going to go? And I thought, well, by the time I get there, it's going to be 8:30. By the time I get ready, go out, get set up, it's going to be 8:30, 8:45. I'm like, how hot is it? And I looked, and I was surprised. It was 79 degrees, and it felt like 85. And I was like, well, that's not that bad. But, of course, it gets hot very quickly. There's a 10% chance of rain, and right now there is 85% humidity. And I was talking to Jono yesterday, and he was of the same opinion. He's like, man, I want to go for a walk, but it's like you walk down to 7-Eleven. It's like a 5-10 minute walk, 5 minutes each way. And by the time you get done, you're soaked. It's so hot and so humid that it's going out. You have to prepare to be drenched in sweat, which, I'm not really prepared right now to do that, especially under the circumstances. The other day I said we were living in limbo, and I heard it put in a better way today. We are in a situation that parallels a medically induced coma. And I think we are. And if you don't like that, basically we are not truly living. We are stifled, and we are simply existing. And I know it's different levels for each country and each area of each country, but we are in a situation for sure. Only wear a mask, huh? Only wear a mask. Well, I'm not going to wear the whatever you call it, the shield. I'm not going to wear that. That's not going to happen. Today in Chicago, barely 50 degrees. I wouldn't mind a little cold weather. But, like I said, we're simply existing right now. And we're kind of in a wait and see. We're the aircraft on the runway that's just sitting there waiting to find out when we can get our spot. That's basically where we are. You never know what is around the corner, Fidelity Quester, and the future is uncertain. And what was that I used to hear in my alma mater? Who knows what the future brings or where we'll be tomorrow? How true that statement is. Anyway, the following stream and all the videos on this channel are brought to you by my Patreon patrons, the premium members of my website, your PayPal, Super Chats, and all of your purchases. There's merch to be bought, books. And today's shout-out goes to Michael. I haven't seen Michael in the chat, but thank you very much for watching and supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to anamericaninbangkok.com/Scott, or just take a look in the description. Yeah. So I want to kind of make this a short stream today. I don't want to do like 2-3 hours. Woke up with a gnarly headache. took my aspirin. This is how life is sometimes. I wake up sometimes and I'm like, wow, I feel light today. I feel I got some pep in my step. And then some days I wake up, I can barely move. I got a bad headache, and I guess this is about being old, or being whatever, being under quarantine. I can see it in my kids now. It's starting to wear on them a little bit. Uh, they're not as active as they have been, and they don't want to be. Nicholas told me, "What's the matter with me laying around the house when I'm going to have to go to school and I'm not going to be able to do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but you're not going to go to school. You're going to be at home. So you're not going to have to travel back and forth, which means you're going to be laying around more than usual or more than before." And I'm like, you have to find something to do. You have to be moving all the time. I mean, listen, you want to take a nap or something, I understand. But I don't know how everybody else is, but that's kind of how it is to me and for us here. Now, despite the whole Watergate scandal that took place many years ago, as a young boy, I was very, very proud to be an American. I was raised with those, the red, white, and blue, and freedom, and all these kind of things. I was raised with that. It was all around me. I was so proud. And in 1976, I still remember my family and I going out onto the golf course. It was a local golf course that they had set up for the 200th anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. And we sat there and watched the fireworks. Oh, and I was 14 years old. I was a kid, but I was so proud. I was like, man, this is awesome. This is what it's all about. And, those dastardly Russians. I didn't even think about the Chinese. And now news is everywhere. It's hard to escape. It's omnipresent, and it's information overload. And I'll tell you what, Longhorns, I don't know how much you're using your new, thank you very much, SR. Appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Longhorns, I don't know how much you're using your new little laptop, but the longer I'm inside, the more I see how connected I am to the internet. And I've talked about this before. And I've gone a day, 2 days where I've like only checked email and that kind of thing. Really stayed offline as much as I could, or just been completely offline. But nowadays, it's almost like if you want to do anything, you have to be connected. At least you have to have a phone number. And it's like, wait a minute, what if I don't want to have a phone? Well, too bad, you're out of luck. What about if I don't want to have a credit card? In many places, too bad, you're out of luck. What about if I want to pay cash? We don't accept it. That's a bit hard for me to swallow, that people are basically manipulating and maneuvering you into a position where you do it their way or you don't do it any other way. And I understand that maybe it makes it easier for the companies and these kind of things. They don't want to take 100 different payment methods. But come on, you're going to try to phase out cash? And then I see in the news everything going on now with this, General Flynn, and how Obama is probably involved in this. And then I think about Hillary Clinton and just how lecherous and evil this woman is in my eyes. And I got to watch both sides fighting about it. And I think to myself, what is it about the left that makes it so difficult? I'll just put it this way. Why is it that Nancy Pelosi can't get up off her ass and get into Washington and put the House back into session? Why can't she do this? What is her problem? You know what it is? She does not care about what anyone else thinks. And what people forget And I hate to say this to all the Democrats out there, but it's the truth. There was no collusion. There was none of this bullshit that went on that they say went on. He won. He was elected. He is a duly elected official. He is the president of the United States. You don't have to like him. I understand that. You know, he's not the most likable guy. And if you saw him answer this chick's question today and then pass over the CNN lady, you know, he can be a bit gruff and abrupt, and I can see where, you know, he's used to getting his way. Of course, it's out there. We know this. He's not the most presidential of presidents. I can completely agree with that. But he is the president, at least for another 6 months. And if you don't like it, vote him out. Vote for somebody else. It's that simple. So, you know, I between this and then I see now what's going on again in Hong Kong. 200 people, pro-democracy people, arrested yesterday. Numerous other officials arrested. And the hypocrisy of the Hong Kong government, and then the hypocrisy of the CCP government, and all the bullshit, and that's all it is that's coming out from the CCP. Well, listen, Pelosi is worth over $200 million. She does what her donors say. That's why. I don't have a problem doing some of the things that my donors would like me to do. And I mean, you know, donors, contributions, whether it's super chat, whatever. Now, I'm not making $200 million a year, of course. Or I'm not worth $200 million. I'm not worth $2 million. But that's not the point. The point is that a donation is made freely and without stipulations attached, generally. But that's not how it works in politics. And that's why Trump wanted to drain the swamp. That's one of the many reasons. I knew something wasn't right. I can feel the temperature's not right in there. And it's going to get brutally hot soon. It may take a couple hours, but by that time, it'll take a couple hours to get my office cool here. You know, you don't, to me, it's like, listen, if you think alike or something like that, or you're okay with differing opinions, then that's one thing. But why donate? But see, that's not how it is in politics. In politics, it's, hey, I'll give you 10 grand, but you're going to have to do this. Or I'll give you 10 million, you're going to have to do this. And so, yeah, she's an old lady. She probably figures, I don't have all that much longer. I'm going to do whatever I want. And, you know, my name, for better or worse, you know, I am what I am, and I am in charge. And, you know, that's how it'll go down. In 20 years, nobody, do you remember who, I mean, you know, the only, like the Speaker of the House that I remember is like Tip O'Neill. How many do you remember from 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? You got to go look it up. Most people forget. So she's going to be forgotten. You know, and this is the thing. And so, you know, I'm a bit pissed off about the situation now, but, you know, I can't let it get to me because I'm at home most of the time. I go for a little walk. I go to the grocery. Today I got to go to the grocery. We need a few things. And that's it. That's my life. And I'm sure there are other people who have absolutely less of a life than I do. So I'm not complaining. But for her to be at home or wherever she is doing what she wants to do and not to, and for all these leaders to be fighting like this, and it's like, listen, the leaders are no longer for the people. They no longer, they may be governing the people, but they're governing by their own principles, not by the people's principles. And that's what pisses me off. That pisses me off. And then, all right, I got to read over this because, you know, I've made no secret of my disdain for the CCP and anyone who follows them. I understand you wanting to maybe decipher and dissemble. What dissemble? No. What am I? You know, break down how the CCP operates. I can understand that, and I can understand saying, hey, in many ways, there are some positives to having that kind of control. However, I just read something the other day or yesterday. Let me read this. And, it's just one thing after another after another. It's the denials. It's the refusal to allow people into the country to see what's really going on. It's the vacuuming up all the and disinfecting all the evidence. It's all these things that, and not only that, it's the Taiwan, it's the Nepal, and now it's Mount Everest. Mount Everest, which is supposed to be part Tibet, part Nepal. Nepal developed half of Mount Everest, okay? And it is the half that most people go up to try to ascend to the top. The other half is rarely used because it's supposedly technically very difficult. That's Tibet. Now, China thinks Tibet is China. But I guess they came out and made some statements that, and I guess they retracted them very quickly, that where they believe that all of Mount Everest is theirs. And so they bring this out, and immediately Nepal said, no, sorry. Let me see here. Yeah, this was CGTN, which is a state media organization for the Chinese government, of course, because everything is a state media organization for the Chinese government. Nothing is free speech there. And then when I see all the things going on in America where you can't say this, you can't say that, I mean, I can't even think of all the instances where people have been complaining about the lack of freedom of speech. If you say something about gender, if you say something about color, if you say something about this, if you say something about that, first of all, you get demonetized on YouTube. I know that. And believe me, now I don't know what I've done, but it seems like I'm not being demonetized as much. Maybe it's because I've been careful how I speak, careful about the keywords, careful about many things. But many other channels and some large channels are demonetized on a regular basis simply because they don't like, YouTube doesn't like what's being said. CGTN's tweet claiming Mount Everest entirely on its side has irked Nepal's citizens who have started back off China trend on Twitter. The tweet of Beijing's state-run media agency, China Global Television Network, on May 2nd, claiming that Mount Everest is on its side, has drawn wide criticism in Nepal, with the people reacting aggressively to the post. The tweet claims Mount Everest is entirely, I don't know how this is written, why they've written it this way. CGTN's tweet claiming Mount Everest entirely on its side has irked the Nepali citizens who again have started back off China trends over the Twitter. I'm going to take it that this is not a native English speaker or writer, where they have been mentioning the Chinese envoy to Nepal, demanding her clarification. We want clarification. The world's highest peak located in Tibet. Really bummed. We've been taught to believe Everest is in Nepal all these years. Thanks, CGTN. Between this, Tibet, Taiwan, and just so you guys know, that there are calls in China for the Chinese government to attack Taiwan now, take it over now, make it truly Chinese again, and I mean Chinese in the sense of CCP China. So these Chinese are going crazy, and sorry if they don't like it, and sorry if it makes all the other Chinese in the world look bad. I really am, because I would not like to be Chinese right now. because you're going to get blamed for all kinds of shit, and maybe, you know, it has absolutely nothing to do to you, especially if you're a Chinese American or Chinese Brit or something like that, or you're in Hong Kong. The Hong Kongers hate the mainlanders. They absolutely despise them. And I can't emphasize that enough. And I got another message day before yesterday about this. They absolutely do not care anymore, and they are heartless. The police who are on they can be Hong Kongers who, for whatever reason, are siding with their leaders, which that is the CCP. You know, the other day they're shooting pepper balls and some kid's in the way, or he's out walking around or whatever with his mother. Mother's carrying him. He's 4 years old. And they're shooting pepper balls around because they don't like what's taking place. And it's in their constitution that they have the right to protest. They have the right to do a lot of these things. They have the right. It's in their constitution, but yet they can't do it. And, you know, so every time that happens, I start thinking to myself, man, I got to get over there. But, you know, of course, you can't get in now. If you're a foreigner, you can't get in. So that's out of the question. But part of me thinks, man, I should go over there. I need to go back over there. I really want to go back over there. And I did a couple of months ago. And now I'm thinking to myself, you know, the bottom line is, why would I be doing it? Would it be for me? You know, would it be for me? Or would it be to help people? Now, maybe it would help people. I like to think so. But, you know, even the famous war photographer, Don McCullen, at the end of he's ending his life, and he's near the end of his life. He's got to be 85 or something like that. He said that, you know, he hates the phrase war photographer, conflict photographer, because he went into it thinking he was going to make a difference, and he doesn't know that he made any difference at all. And so, you know, when I hear stuff like that, and then I think to myself, yeah, what's going to happen? I'm going to get arrested. I'm going to get deported. I'm going to get the shit beat out of me. I mean, you know, okay, these things can happen, but if it was for a cause that I could actually make a difference in, I would be like, yeah, okay, no problem. You know, whatever. You got to do what you got to do, right? But when you think to yourself, are any of my photos, is me being there really going to do anything? Probably not, okay? So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. Isn't China Airlines from Taiwan? Should change the name. China Airlines. Let's see here. Flag carrier of Taiwan. Yeah, I don't know. Is the national carrier of the Republic of China. Well, you know, Taiwan is the original China. So maybe that's why they do that. But I always think, when I think of airlines from Taiwan, I always think of Ava Air. Now, let me find this piece that really made me think a little bit. You know, I do think once in a while. Let's see here. All right, this was on Twitter. And it's a guy who is an American who lives with his Chinese wife. My mainlander wife can't understand why I'm upset about a 13-year-old student journalist getting arrested at the random chaotic mass search of people peacefully waiting at a bus stop. To me, it's a huge breach of human values. It doesn't matter to her, and she just wants to read. She doesn't even want to talk to me. It's like she's come to expect this, or like if it doesn't directly affect her immediately, it doesn't matter. Or supporting her spouse doesn't really matter. More simply, the CCP has permanently beat empathy out of her. This hurts. Shanghai Shek, National Chinese, names are confusing of the airlines, though, yes. I think your photos and live streams did raise some awareness to the situation in Hong Kong. They may have raised some awareness. I mean, I can agree with that, yes. And I mean, I try to be very honest with myself about this. Okay, they could have raised some awareness, but people nowadays, it really doesn't matter. You can have the most, the one kid who got killed the other day. What's his name? He got shot. I don't know what his name is, and I should, but I don't. He got shot by a father and son, look at all the people who have been killed unnecessarily, and nobody remembers them. It's like I keep saying, it's the news du jour. Whatever is the most interesting for that day is what people remember. I mean, I don't even see anything. I'm looking at Fox right now. Yeah, I don't see anything about it. I'm sure there's something on here though. I'm really looking. I don't see one thing on the front page. Nothing. Let's see on CNN. Carl, what's happening? Gennaro, what's happening? How you guys doing? I'm almost hesitant to use the word guys now. Almost every single YouTuber who's got, a million subscribers or a few 100,000, hey guys! And I don't know what it is. It just strikes me the wrong way. I just can't do it. If it comes out naturally, that's one thing, but it's like, yes, Ahmad Arbery. Okay. I'm on the international CNN page, and it's not even on that. Nothing on the front page. Okay? Nothing at all. Nothing on CNN, nothing on Fox. Which is just, it's sad, but, and, you've got here, on CNN, the headline is Trump abruptly ends press conference after contentious exchange. I don't even remember the question at this point, and I don't feel like playing the video. But I know that. All right, listen. He could have just answered the question. It wouldn't have been a big deal. But when you get questions like, I saw this today also. Thank you very much, Longhorns. But I saw this where somebody comes out and says, why is it you're getting tested every day, but the American public can't be tested? Everybody in the American public can't be tested. But you, as the president, can be tested every single day. It's like, listen, come on. People are fucking stupid. We can go to the moon. We can do this. We can do that. But people are stupid, man. When it comes to the day-to-day world, people are stupid. It's not just the mainstream media. It's everybody. And the reason, I'll tell you something. The reason that I've never become really serious about news or journalism, aside from photography, the reason is because no matter what I write, there's always going to be somebody writing different things. There's always going to be somebody who is going to write some counter to it, even if it's not true. It's ridiculous now. And it's disgusting, frankly. I mean, I'm disgusted with the way that America operates, with the way that the world operates, with the way that people deal with each other. I mean, I don't want to sound like a goody two-shoes, and I know that I can be a bit abrasive and obnoxious at times, but I really try to be decent to people and have respect for each other. And I think that that's, if we remembered that, and, listen, you've got your opinion, I've got mine. If we can do that. And sometimes, I've banned people in the past where I've been like, listen, you're too much. And the reason is because there comes a point where you just go, is the person being malicious? Is it their intention to hurt people's feelings, to cause an issue, to make a problem out of nothing? Well, if that's the case, then hit the road, Jack. But otherwise, okay, debate it, figure it out, and come up with a better solution. Maybe you can work on something. Maybe maybe the two people can come to an agreement and come up with some kind of solution that's agreeable to both of them. I never thought I'd be talking like that, but I am. So that's I'm not in a very good mood. I mean, once I get off the computer and I start talking to my family, I'll tell you what, I've talked to my wife about the CCP. Told her what's going on. And, she's kind of like this girl that they're talking about in this Twitter post. She's just kind of like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You want to, it's the same thing with the Thai government. She sees things that the Thai government's doing. She's going, what can I do? Right now, what can I do? There's not much I can do. So, I understand that that you may not be able to do something about it, but can you have empathy? And I will say that my wife does have empathy for people who are being hurt and that kind of thing. It doesn't seem like this guy's wife does, but I think his last sentence was pretty telling. More simply, the CCP has just permanently beat empathy out of her. This hurts. Now, I don't think they beat her physically, but they beat it into them. They brainwashed the hell out of them. That's what it is. They brainwash them. They brainwash the people until the people don't know any other way, and they are forever cold and heartless. That's pretty much how it works. And if you think about, listen, I told this story. When I first came back to the United States, after I had moved to Thailand, and I had run out of money, completely run out of money. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I went, well, I'll go back home. I went back home, and I decided to go to Seattle. I went back to the United States, rather. I didn't go home. I decided to go to Seattle because there was a lot of job opportunities at the time. And within a couple of days, I got a job on a fishing boat. But while I was in this hostel that I was staying in, it was the first couple of days. I stayed there a month before I ended up getting the fishing job, month and a half. And I met this young kid, and he had told me that he was married to a Chinese girl, and he said, no, but I'm divorcing her now. I said, why? What's going on? We got to be friends a little bit. We talked a few times and, ate some meals together and that kind of thing. And he told me, he said, listen, I had this T-shirt business I built up from nothing. I was hustling T-shirts. I think it was in New York or New Jersey or somewhere. He's hustling T-shirts. He's making money. And he started buying T-shirts from China, and that's eventually how he met his wife. He had $100,000 in the bank, and he married this girl. And then one day he goes to take some money out of his bank account, and the bank account's empty. He's got no money. He goes to the wife, hey, what's going on, honey? And she says, listen, my family needed the money. He's like, yeah, but, you need to talk to me first, and I need that money. I need some of it. I'm going to have to do this and do that. And she's like, no, sorry, that's the way it goes. I needed the money. This is, we're family, and sorry, they get the money. And this guy was like, no, that's not, and she did not care that he had worked so hard for it. She had done nothing for it. And so he ended up divorcing her, and, he was heartbroken. Now, here this guy goes further, and let me say, this is a response to the post. Some experience to tell. Many parents of our generation are from China, just like my mother. She's a kind-hearted woman, but she is more patriotic in a sense. She mentioned a point. You need to be not hungry in order to talk about values. Maybe your wife has similar thought. And then the guy responded, she has a cushy job. Here we go. She has a cushy job working for the CCP. They pay half her rent and she's got plenty of spare time. That fits the first half, but she's never gone hungry. She's never been through a recession. Life has been a very easy cruise for her so far. Thank you for the sympathy. I hope you two will be together when the first recession hits. Put in a few nice words for us Hong Kongers and when it happens. I've been ringing the Hong Kong bell since the first occupation of Legco. We need your help and experience as much as your power. Now, this is something else to think about. What about the guys out there in America who are married to Chinese women? And you know, the guy, or just foreigners married to Chinese women, like the Lao Wai guy and the Serpent ZA. They're married to Americans. And I believe they've already been... he didn't have a joint bank account. That's the thing. He did not have a joint bank account, and somehow, I think the account was in China. And, you know, she just like in Thailand sometimes they a little smooth talk and you get right in. Imagine if you know, that's Serpent ZA and Lao Wai, at least they're in America, and, you know, they have some kind of, they have some options, okay? But what about a guy who, like this, he is for Hong Kong being free and his wife works for the CCP? How does that work? How does that work? I can't see why they would be married. Here's a message from somebody in Hong Kong. I can see your wife is the generation who got brainwashed. My parents are from China. They were tortured during the Cultural Revolution time. My mother is 70 years old, walks badly, but she never missed one protest march. Having the same humanity value is important for the marriage. Exactly. Now, I have to say that while I was in Hong Kong, I saw many, many older people who, without fail, every single protest you would see them there. Every single one. They did not miss a protest. I might have missed a protest, but they didn't miss the protest. And so, you know, these are things to think about. And this is just, now you're seeing that it is affecting not only Hong Kong. And like I said, when I was in Hong Kong, this is more than just a Hong Kong problem. This is a worldwide problem. It's affecting the entire world. And I believe that the vast majority of the world, say what you will about being diplomatic, but the vast majority of the world is pissed off at China. And for good reason. I'm pissed off at the CCP. I'm pissed off at all those people that follow them. And then I look at this and, you know, okay, you know, Trump, he makes things a little more difficult just because he wants to be feisty, he wants to fight back. But, you know, this lady's asking him these questions. He's been asked stupid questions by these by these organizations, these media organizations, mainstream media organizations. She's been asked stupid questions by many of them. And then she tried to turn it into a racial thing, saying, why are you saying that to me specifically? Because you're the dumb bitch who asked the question. That's why. How stupid are you? You asked the question. So you get the response. How stupid are you, lady? Don't try to turn it into something racial. Now, I did see something yesterday, you know, completely aside from this, where I guess it was in Walmart, a woman did not want to wear her mask. She didn't want to wear a mask, and she's trying to get into Walmart, and they told her, no, you got to wear a mask. Now listen, I understand the masks, they suck. It sucks to wear a mask all the time. It's uncomfortable. You get sweaty. They're hot. It's hard to breathe. They're a pain in the ass. I understand it. But if you want to get into their organization, if you want to get into their organization, then you're going to have to put the damn mask on or not get in. She started fighting back. Now, guy comes over. She's fighting with him. Security guard comes over. She's fighting with him. She does not want to leave. And he picks her up and body slams her. And oh, they had a field day with that one. Oh my God, I can't believe you. What are you doing? Well, you dumb bitch. You don't try to get in. This is the thing. People are stupid. Stop trying to force your way in. If somebody says, no, you can't come in here. All right, I don't care how big you are. If they really want to prevent you from coming in, they're going to prevent you. Whether it means by taking legal action, like calling the police, or whether it is from some guy with a machete coming out going, leave. Doesn't matter. They're going to get you. You know, if you're in a big place like Walmart, there's enough people there where I think, I think these Bruce Lee movies have been, and all these kung fu movies in the past made people think that they can get away with shit. But, this is a fat, old, well, I don't know if she's old, but fat black lady with her friends standing around. And you got all these people, black and white and, Latino. They're all standing around. They're not going to help. Her friend's standing there screaming and yelling, but she's not doing anything. The lady got slammed. She got slammed onto her face. Now, she would have never got slammed onto her face if she would have just listened and said, listen, you know what? I'll buy the damn mask. And I understand it's a freedom thing. I don't want to wear the mask. Okay, well, then you can't come in. How stupid are you, lady? So, she gets slammed on her face, and then guess what? She's gonna sue. It's ridiculous. I'm so sick of the way that people conduct themselves. And, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but Jesus Christ, where does this come from? In my lifetime, I never saw this stuff. And you can bring the internet into it and say, well, the internet shows all this stuff. Yeah, okay. But these kind of things happen on a regular basis now. She played the mask card. Mark Wiens did a video on fire spicy noodles recently. He's grounded in Bangkok. Didn't I do a couple of videos on the fiery noodles, Gennaro? I don't want to do any more videos on the fiery noodles, to be completely honest. I told you I had a little tiny piece of the chocolate that Beyond Trinity sent me. That's 13 million Scovilles. The chip here is like 1.9. So this thing is, 6 times more spicy, supposedly. And I just had a little tiny, like a size of a match head. And it was so damn spicy, I was like, there ain't a chance in hell I'm going to eat this whole thing. So, what was the other one? The gummy bear. I haven't tried that. I told my wife, I said, you want to have the gummy bear? And she's like, no, not now. We don't want anything happening to us. And then they're like, we go to the hospital and they're like, here you go. Here's some Pepto-Bismol. Sorry, get out of here. There used to be a popular YouTube channel about a mall cop armed to the teeth in Atlanta. He had to deal with gang members, druggies, aggressive people daily. He often had to tase people. Yeah, I would be tasing the hell out of these people and using pepper spray on them. Well, pepper spray, you'd have to make sure that you're out of the line of fire and that there's no wind coming back into your face. But, whoa, you got to do the spicy chocolate live so we can see the pain. Yeah, see the pain. You see my death? Seriously. That chip was not that bad. But there was like I said, there was about a 20 to 30 minute window that was terrible. Where I was sitting there going, oh God, oh God. It was a bit painful. It was a bit rough. I still have a chip left. But I think that at this time, being that I probably couldn't get into the hospital, in case something happened. I don't think I want to do it right away. Yeah, I would not want to have that job where I would not want to be a mall cop. You know, sometimes I see these guys in the mall here in Thailand, and they're, I mean, they're 60, 70 years old, and I'm like, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna do anything. Now, the thing is, what you don't know is you know it, but you don't always think about it. At least I don't. Is that there are people walking around in the mall that are not shoppers. They work for the mall. They're security. They're undercover. And so if you do something wrong, that old man pushes a button, I need some help, and the next thing you know, you got 10 people running over, beating the hell out of you. Is it that spicy? Is what that spicy? The chip? The chip was not that spicy. I will say that. I ate it. If you watch the video, I ate it and I didn't have any problems with it. I ate it, knocked it back, no problem. Same with with all the spicy noodles, no problem. It's cake, really. As my wife says, it's baby. Now, like I said, though, there was a window of about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, where my stomach did hurt. And I wasn't sure, do I need to use the toilet, or am I just in pain? What is it? Now, the wife the other day, what were we eating? We were having some pork or something from outside. We were having some, I don't know what it was, pork and garlic. And she said, oh, do we have any sriracha? So I bring out the sriracha. We had a little bit of sriracha. And thank you very much, Francisco. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that. Forgot all about the super chats, to be completely honest. I was immersed in my thoughts here. But she brought out the sriracha. I brought out the sriracha. And I thought, maybe I can get away with this. So I brought out the other one. I kind of handed the sriracha to Alex. I go, do you want some of this? And I gave the other one to her. And she goes, so what's this? I go, it's just like sriracha. It was that Dave's whatever ghost pepper sauce. Good morning, soy dog. Good morning. And so I, gave her that. She looked at it and she goes, is it spicy? I go, a little bit. And so she pours it onto her stuff and she starts eating it. Immediately she goes, wow. And then after about a minute, she says to me, oh, you know what? Is that showing up though? Or is the alert not showing now? Well, hopefully it'll show up. I just unclicked the little button, so maybe it was too late, but anyway, so I gave it to her and she ate it for, the first 30 seconds she's like, woo, pet mat, And then she goes, it's not that bad. She goes, but I don't like the smell and I don't like the taste. And if you remember, that was the stuff that I made the omelet with. And I ate the omelet, but I was like, it ruined my omelet. I didn't like it. So I understood. But she took it like a trooper. Now, the gummy bear one, I would actually consider eating the gummy bear. I think, how many Scovilles is the gummy bear? Let's see here real quick. Gummy bear, Scoville. Oops. Let's see here. Oh, God. 9 million Scoville heat units. Oof. This is the world's hottest gummy bear that reaches a staggering 9 million Scoville heat units, which is like 4 times the hotness of the world's current hottest chili pepper, the Carolina Reaper, or 900 times hotter than the spiciest jalapeno. Where is Beyond Trinity when you need him? He's the one who sent that. And the reason that I don't know that I want to try this gummy bear, let me see if I can, I'll bring out a little photo of it. I think I can get away with putting that up. Let's see here. The reason is because you're chewing it. It's not like the chip where you just chew it a little bit and you can down it. I mean, I guess you could, but you're still going to feel the pain. You're going to feel the pain. All right, let me see if I can get a little. It just looks like a regular gummy bear. That's all it is. But anyway, there were some people that, with this guy with the wife who. Can I get this here? Yeah, I mean, you know what it is, I mean, I can eat the stuff. I'll gut it out. Little cliche there, little play on words. Man, I can gut it out, but the truth is, it's not pleasurable. If eating the spice makes it taste better, then that's a different story. But if it tastes like, if it just tastes terrible, then what's the point? Let me see if I can put this up real quick. Image. I'll put up the. Where's it at? Hey, Longhorns, did you get a message from Nicholas yesterday? Because he told me he sent you a message. See, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to go like this. Let me see here. 1 second. And then go. And unlock this. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, there we go. And Gennaro, I do have an update for you. Supposedly, my friend contacted me yesterday and said he's supposed to sign a contract with a place for the gallery that my stuff will be in. And it's supposed to be somewhere around June 1st or July 1st. But I'm like, I don't know, I don't know how good of an idea that is right now, to be honest, because there are still a lot of people fighting the stay at home, and I heard there's a lot of new cases coming out. I'm on a new device, so no. Oh, really? You're on a new device? Oh, you did you change your line ID? I thought I gave it to him. Or are you on another one now? You don't have that same one that the little laptop. I can't keep up with this. People don't get that. Heat has no point. The entire point is to make the dish taste better, not how strong you are. Exactly. I mean, what I said was, what is it people want? I mean, really, what do they want? They want it to taste good, or they just want to see how close can I come to killing myself? Because that's the way I look at it. Because it's just like a fighter who gets in the ring. And the guy the other day who put on a great fight, Justin Gaethje, when he beat Tony Ferguson, he said, I was willing to die inside this ring. Now, if you're willing to die doing something, you got a lot better chance because you haven't set any boundary. Let me see if I can do this here. I wish I knew, and I'm going to have to talk to somebody in the future. Maybe Alex can help me with, or maybe somebody out there can tell me. But I wish I knew about how to use switchers and to be able to better use my my OBS or some other system. I wish I knew how to do it where I just hit a button and it was, 1, 2, 3, and everything's hooked up and the music. I don't know yet. When he tells me, I will let you know, Gennaro, and he'll have the website is supposed to go live pretty soon also. I didn't hear Ferguson make any excuses for that fight. And quite frankly, he put up a great fight. But Gaethje, for all the guts that he has and all the comeback fights that he's had, he was a very technically sound fighter in that fight. He fought a great fight, and you can't take that away from him. And for Ferguson to say anything otherwise, it's just, I don't personally believe that, and I know maybe some people won't like what I say, but I don't think Ferguson's character overall, from what I've seen, the way he acts does not lend to stability in his training for like somebody like Khabib or even Gaethje. I think that he's erratic. And when you have an erratic fighter, whether it be in boxing, MMA, listen, if you know anything about boxing or you know anything about MMA, then you know that the mental aspect of the game is very important. And I think Gaethje just basically broke him down and broke his spirit. And Ferguson, he knew he had to keep fighting, but he wasn't there. He didn't perform, and that's the thing. He wasn't able to perform because Gaethje basically took it all out of him. And it's as simple as that. Make all the excuses you want, but none of them are going to stick. Now, let me get back to this this guy here. Now, here's a guy here, not criticizing Chinese, but it is what the mainland China education gives them. They seldom understand that feeling unless the disaster comes to them. Yeah, you see, I don't know if anybody's seen some of these videos out there, especially the one, I think it was in Sweden, where the Chinese were supposed to check into a hotel, and then they were told, no, you can't check in now. It's, like 1 o'clock in the morning. The people are still in their rooms. We can't, we don't have any extra rooms. We can't give you a room. I'm sorry. And they got pissed off and screamed and shouted and pouted. And then they told them to go outside. So I guess they did go outside. And then they were screaming and yelling outside, making a big deal. And then the police came. And then it's, oh my God, we're being targeted because we're Chinese and that kind of thing. They're never going to get away with that shit because they may get away with that with the lefties, the far lefties. They may get away with that shit. Oh, the poor people from the CCP, China, and they're in such bad shape. Oh, we've got to help them. Now, fuck them. They're not helping us. They're going out buying all the stuff and then selling it back at a profit. Fuck them. That's the way I look at it. Fuck them. Let them die. They're letting us die. They don't care. They did it on purpose. Why would you allow people to travel outside of your country but not allow them to travel inside the country? They lie about Tiananmen Square. They lie about Tibet. They lie about Taiwan. They lie about their history. They lie. That's all there is to it. I fucking hate them. Don't ever get me started. If you're around me in person, don't ever get me started on them. Because I fucking hate them. Give me a thumbs down for that. Okay, great. Whatever. I don't care. Keep giving me thumbs down. Because I hate the CCP. Fuck them. I don't hate Chinese people. I hate the fucking CCP. I hate what their government stands for. And of course, there are probably some people in the CCP that might be like, you know what? I don't like what we're doing. Oh, I want to be a good person. But you know what? I don't see it. So, I was telling Jono the other day, listen, if it comes down to it, fucking wipe them off the map. Target their fucking, their capital where the government is and get rid of them. Fucking wipe them out, man. I'm sick of this shit. Seriously. They're a scourge on the earth, a scourge on the earth and on the planet. And I don't like to think like that. I really don't. I don't want to hate. I only hate a few people in my life. A couple people that, like, if I see them, I probably end up in jail for life. Let's put it that way. There's only a couple people like that. Actually, there's only one or two. And one of them's dead. And it didn't come from me. Natural causes. So, I don't think that hatred has a place. But when it comes to survival, and to me it's survival, I look at it this way. Listen, I'm going to die in another... And listen, maybe I'll die in 5 years. Maybe I'll die in a day. Maybe I'll die in 30 years. But I don't want my kids to have to deal with this bullshit. And you know what? If history tells us anything, there are always cunts. Excuse me for devolving into this language, but there are always cunts out there who want the power, who it's never enough. They want to be controllers of the universe. They want to rule the world. And that's what they are. That's what the CCP is. And I have to say, you guys don't know. Nobody really knows. But and you don't know how close, because I wasn't broadcasting at the time. But there were several instances where I got into it with people when I was in Hong Kong. A couple of them maybe you guys know about, but the one was where the Japanese guy was saying, "Oh, don't photograph these guys." Now that had nothing to do with the CCP, but I didn't like the idea that operating as a photojournalist, even as just a photographer, I wanted to stay neutral. I don't want to photograph, just the CCP and just the protesters. I didn't want to photograph that. I wanted the whole scene. Because that gives the picture, and then the people can determine for themselves exactly what's going on, or have an idea of what's going on. They can think for themselves. They don't need to hear from me because I may be skewed one way or the other. And the guy was telling me, no, you can't do this. You can't. And I'm like, who the fuck are you, buddy? I'm like, wait a minute. That's just as bad as the CCP. No, you can't photograph them. What do you mean? Fuck you. Fuck you. They're out in fucking public. They're protesters. If they don't want to be photographed, don't fucking protest. Go home. Get off the streets. All right, but then there was the one guy who was standing there at the line with the police, and I don't think anybody saw that, but that was a pretty nasty ordeal, because he was siding with the police, and the police were screaming and yelling at people, and I was telling him, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? I was looking at the guy going like this. I had my hands up. I'm going, what the fuck? What's your problem? to the cop. And the cop was kind of shaking his hand. I was lucky he didn't hit me over the head with the billy club. But the guy next to me was this Chinese guy, and he was like, fuck you, go home. Screaming at me. And I was like, now you're gonna fuck you. I was like, I'm gonna elbow you in the face, you fucking old man. But and then you got the old lady who's crying because she's like, I never thought that the CCP would come to Hong Kong and force my children to live this way. She's like, I'm gonna die, but my children are gonna live here for a long time. I want them to have a good place to live. So when I see this kind of shit, and then I hear this bullshit in the media, and then I'm locked down. Now, I may not be 100% locked down like in some places, so I don't want to bitch about that part. But I'm not living my life the way I want to live it. And guess why? Because of the fucking CCP. Now, this, I can guarantee you that this stream is going to be demonetized. Their algorithm is very accurate for some reason. But I really don't care at this point. I really don't give a shit. It's not about the money. As much as I like money, it's not about the money, believe me. At this part, it's about the CCP. Now, you got this guy here, and I'm like, hey, listen, if she's that fucking cold, why did you marry her? It's your, if you have a problem with your old lady, and I understand most couples at one point or another, they have some problems they got to work through. But if you really have a serious issue, and I've talked about the whole 90-day fiance and the locked up, what is it? Not locked up abroad. Love after lockup and stuff. It's like, listen, what do you think? You're going to marry some guy that's in prison. He's going to come out and he's going to be like sweet and loving and caring and everything's going to be hunky-dory. You made a decision to be with the guy or the girl. She's a crack addict who hasn't had crack in 7 years, and she comes out and she professes to be completely clean, and you think she's going to change overnight. She's going to come out. She's not going to have those urges to go out with her friends and, hook up with old people and then maybe, hey, let's go smoke a little. You make the choice. That's the thing. Start making wise decisions. That's the only thing I can say. How smart do you have to be to understand that the CCP there's a long history and track record of them being cunts? How intelligent do you really need to be? Just read a couple of articles and then read something against it that's not part of their state media. Read pro and con, but it can't be state media, because if it's state media, it's nothing but propaganda and horse shit. The only good commie is a dead commie. Yeah, that's about what it is. This young generation has not known a disaster at all in China, while the generation in America has been through several major ones during the same period. That makes it extremely hard for her to empathize with me. Listen, he's making excuses. Sad to hear that, but I hope once she and the young generation in China will know the disaster one day, and one day she can understand you. I look at it like this. Dude, you got married to her. You didn't know, but she's a cold-hearted twat when it comes to what's going on in the world? How could you not know that? This is the thing. You get married like, in a week or a month. Don't bitch about not knowing the person later on down the road. Different education, different feeling. Typically, Chinese only know how to kneel down to bigwigs, but totally don't know what is freedom and human rights. There is a core difference between America and China. A famous quote is, "You can depend upon the Americans to do the right thing, but only after they have exhausted every other possibility. We try to do new things aggressively and fail in public. That's political suicide in China." Now here's another guy, and he's at least I don't know if he's Chinese or what. Maybe stop her from reading those CCP-controlled Chinese media. Those articles just manipulated her mind and can even turn people to cold blood. Yeah, like that's going to happen. Try stopping your old lady from reading something. Try telling her not to do anything. Anybody who's been married for a while knows if you're going to tell your old lady to do something, and you say, no, don't do that, she's going to end up doing it anyway. It's not about respect. It's just about, like, fuck, why can't I do it? You're telling me I can't do it. Why can't I do it? I'm going to do it. And then I saw something the other day about the Epoch Times. Now, the Epoch Times is definitely anti-Chinese, anti-CCP, rather. It's pro-democracy. And I saw some video about how in Canada, of all places, I don't remember what was it. It was the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, ran a pro-CCP piece, or at least slanted in that direction, where they showed a woman who was upset because she kept getting the Epoch Times for free in her mail, and she thought that it was racist. Now, I understand you don't want to get it for free. Okay, well, it's junk mail. Guess what? I get junk mail too, and I don't particularly like it. But you know what you do? You just throw it away. It's simple. You throw it in the garbage. But for whatever reason, the Chinese government, the Canadian government, has made made just about anything illegal to say when it comes to racism. I don't understand their thinking when it comes to the Chinese, rather, the CCP. We don't want to offend the Chinese. You know what? Fuck the CCP, like I've been saying. And if you don't like that, fuck you too. Now, I've ranted a little bit. I've gave a little information out. Hopefully that appeases some people. Young Antifa types state that they want communism in America. I think a lot of young people, listen, come on. I look at my kid, he's 19 years old. I'm like, no offense to my kid, I love him. He's a great kid. But like, what do I want him making decisions about how my country is run? Fuck no. No offense. Although he's probably got a better head on his shoulder than, some of these people. But do you really want an 18 or 19-year-old making crucial decisions about the way that the world is run or the way that a government is run? No, that's why most of the people in power tend to be in their 70s. Because, supposedly older is wiser. Think about it. When you're only 17, 18, 19, you're not completely developed. It takes a while. I wasn't developed mentally until, I'm not even mentally developed yet. I may be dead, and then it'll be like, all right, by the time he died, he was mentally developed. Mentally and emotionally developed. At this point, I'm still trying to get there. So I don't know. Let me go on with this thing here. More and more of the media in China is going that way. See the SCMP, South China Morning Post. But the other bad news is that it's going that way in America too. We've got self-imposed bans on saying anything bad about China or SARS-CoV, and I can't understand why except corruption. Now, where's the one? I'm sorry to see this. This is typical Chinese. I'm not racist. This is the difference between Hong Kongers and Chinese. We are so furious about that 13-year-old boy being arrested. Yeah, well, in Big Simon, he's been out running around taking photos and stuff. I should give you guys his link to his Instagram. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But he's been out and about, and he's in the thick of it. He got back in right on time, just in time. And he's got a work permit, so here he is right here. All right. This is it right here. Give you guys the link if you want to see. He's a good photographer also. So, what are you going to do? And like I said, I'm pissed off, but how pissed off am I? I can't stay pissed off because, I allow myself these brief 1 hour, 2 hour times to vent because I think it's important. And I think that, I don't consider myself the most stable person, but I'm fairly stable. But anybody out there who is a bit off, I can see where certain things are going to set them off and they're going to go nuts. And then the next thing you know, they're fighting some, $12 an hour security guard trying to get into Walmart, and the guy body slams them, and then it's, this huge issue that it never needed to take place. That they could have been, who knows, if they were both single, they could have been screwing. We could have been eating dinner together. The guy could have said, "Hey, listen, honey, I know things are hard right now. How about we have a little lunch or something? Why don't we relax, have some lunch, and then we'll talk about it, and be calm, and discuss it." But when I see this, listen, what's going on with Adam Schiff and everything else in that situation, and when I hear that it could be related to that Obama knows all about it, and I believe he does. And I continue to think about Clinton. I will never forget that bitch. I think she's completely. Well, I don't even want to get into it. I'm not going to name call. She irritates me. She bugs me. Okay? And, if you voted for it, more power to you. You may have your reasons or whatever. That's why we're here, to discuss these things. But it always seems that the people on here, they're somewhere at least in the middle. They're willing to discuss things. I don't have any wackos here, which is a good thing, because I don't feel like dealing with any wackos. We don't need that. All right, so what's going on in Thailand? Only thing really is some people were arrested. 22 foreigners and 2 Thai nationals arrested at a Koh Samui bar. And, oh wow. Let's see here. And how many people were yesterday? I think it was only 6. But, that's still... And 4 of them were in Phuket. I don't believe there were... Maybe there was 1 death? Let me see here. The left are the wackos, yeah. All right, the next batch of reopenings in Thailand is coming this Sunday, for those who care. The big thing for me is that they originally had said that the malls were going to open on June 15th, and now they're saying they're going to open on May 17th. The provisional list includes shopping malls, community malls, bowling alleys, fitness clubs, amusement parks, beauty salons offering hair curling and dyeing services, as well as nail services, eateries in office buildings, beauty clinics, weight loss clinics, outdoor team sports, but no spectators, public gardens, galleries, and Thai foot massage parlors. But not movie theaters at this stage or beaches. Now, I got to say that, where was it, in New York, or where was it where the beaches, where they went completely nuts and the people were not social distancing, so they closed the beaches again? I think in Florida. Let's see here. Oh, man. It's pretty sad. Florida City closes beaches. This is in Orlando. After visitors sit too close. Officials in Naples close beaches until city council can discuss ideas. Visitors were not practicing social distancing and could have contributed to the spread of the new coronavirus. I do understand that people want to get out. Listen, everyone wants to get out. Everyone wants their freedom to do whatever they want. But depending on who you believe, are you willing to die? Are you willing to get your grandmother or your mother sick and let her die? Like, for me, I don't want to travel back to the United States because I would not like to contract something, say, on the plane, go back home, and then give it to my mother and father, and then how would you feel if they pass away from the virus and you're the one who actually gave it to them? How are you going to feel then? And I don't think people think of this stuff. They're like that idiot kid that was in Florida who was like, woo, I want to party. I'm not worried about anything. And then he came back and he said, oh, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry I was acting that way. I just wanted to get drunk and have a good time. Unbelievable. Not fair that Collier County residents cannot enjoy their beaches, Lauren Sabelli told the paper on Facebook. I was at the beach during the week, and everyone practiced social distancing. This is not right that the residents suffer. Listen, life ain't fair, honey. Get over it. I gotta get to the beach. It's so fucking essential. It's important. I've gotta get there. If I don't get there, my life is going to end. No, your life might get there because you go there. There's some idiot who decides to sit next to you and, ask you to put some lotion on his back or something. Who knows? The left are wackos. Yes, the right are also wackos. Extremists are wackos. A guy shot dead in the U.S. because he wouldn't let them into a shop without a mask. They came back and shot him. That's why, I don't recommend being a security guard. You want to do something, be a cop, because at least if you're a cop, you have the law on your side. If you're a security guard, you never know. Forget a vaccine. We just need a reasonably effective drug, and we can stop worrying. Yeah, well, there's always fentanyl. Fentanyl and morphine. I got to tell you, it's good shit. But, if you're not in pain, it's great shit. If you're in a lot of pain, it's pretty damn good. At least for a brief period of time. Then we just have to deal with the overdoses. Let's see here. Meanwhile, barbershops, hair salons, and nail salons prepared to reopen in much of the state Monday, with workers being required to wear a mask. Governor Ron DeSantis, this is in Florida, announced Friday that they could reopen in every county except hard-hit Miami-Dade and Broward, which remain under tight restrictions. My parents are in Broward County, and they've already said to me, we're not going out for a while until we absolutely have to, because there's still people dropping like flies. Still a lot of people dying, You never know. It's like playing Russian roulette. They opened a beach in California to surfers only, and a shark promptly ate a surfer. I did see that. I shouldn't laugh, but hey, if COVID won't get you, the shark will. The state reported Sunday that about 40,600 coronavirus cases have been confirmed since the beginning of March, and at least 1,721 people have died. All right, I always say, hey, if you just let the people go out, maybe you get the immunity and all that, how many people are going to die? Well, maybe more are going to die. I don't know. Maybe more will die than staying inside. I don't know. Democrat-ran states are shitholes. Certain Democratic states, like Illinois, will be shut down until there's nothing left to reopen. Have you had any symptoms? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Nobody in my family has had any symptoms that we know of. No symptoms that would make us believe that we actually might have we may be asymptomatic and have the virus. I mean, it's like, oh, I coughed. I might have it. Uh-oh. What am I going to do? I don't know. Hope I don't keep coughing and coughing and coughing. Now, I will say that I saw a video of a nurse. I don't remember her name, which I should have wrote it down, and I didn't. But there was a nurse who, she kept a vlog of once she caught the virus and she knew that she had it. She did a vlog, and she showed herself and how she felt, giving updates, periodic updates. And then finally, they show her and she's in the bed and she's like, she couldn't give any more updates because she was too weak, and then she passed away. So, it's nothing to joke about. And I understand that. But then again, I forget, somebody said something the other day, I read something the other day, and it was a great quote. It was something like, y'all want to go out, but what good is going out and having your business run if everybody's going to die? Now, I don't believe everyone's going to die, because a very small percentage of people die. But it kind of gives you food for thought. Do you really need to go and buy toilet paper? I mean, seriously. You can always go down to 7-Eleven, get some shitter paper if you need it. Now, I know Jono goes down to 7-Eleven, and I can tell you, I know where he lives. And he walks down from his apartment, and it's about a 2 or 3 minute walk. There's a 7-Eleven there. They got people, they only allow like 5 people in at a time. And they got hand cleaner and all that kind of stuff. And I think they check their temperature. All the 7-Elevens I've been, to in Thailand in the last month or so. They check your temperature. When I walk through the mall, rather Happy Land, to get to the mall, when I get off my Songtao, I got to walk through Happy Land, a little section of Happy Land, and they check my temperature. You know, I think that's a good thing. There's a study out of Glasgow that says getting the virus takes 10 to 13 years off an otherwise healthy person's life. There goes the herd immunity positivity. Yeah, listen, it's not about negativity. My mother said this. It's not about negativity. It's about the lack of positivity. You know, really, that's what it is. How much really, truly positive information? Well, only 1,800 people died today. Yeah, that's real positive. I mean, you know, maybe it is if 3,000 died the day before. You know, I understand. Okay. Now, what I did hear in the very beginning is that this situation will take approximately 10 years off of people's lives because it's stressful. And it is stressful. And I think to myself, I look at Nikos and I'm like, what are you doing? Chilling. And all the time, chilling. You know, finally yesterday I said, you know, I never thought about it, but is there a way to say it in chilling in Thai? And he's like, chill. That's it, just chill. You chill. Or, you know, you could say that. You could say, you chill. How often do you shop for supplies? What supplies? Food? We got enough food now that like if we really don't have to go to the grocery, but if we want things like eggs and milk, and bread, you know, we go about once a week. My wife goes once a week. I go once a week, and that's it. I think about the only thing that the kids have done is they've went across the street to buy some kanong jeep, some dim sum, and other than that, you know, I went for a walk, the one stream, and you know things are opening up here. So you know, legally at least, you can go out. You can go out now. But you can get into the mall like in another couple of days, 5 days. Should be able to go into the mall and go shopping, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of restrictions and a lot of places in the mall, even that are closed, they're stocking up and they're modifying their stores so that they have the plexiglass or whatever in front of where the cashier is. I think situations like this increase your lifespan, make you tougher. Look at how many survivors of Holocaust in their 80s or 90s. I don't know that that's true. I don't know. It could be for other reasons that they live into their 80s or 90s. Maybe it could be because of the intermittent fasting. You know, who knows? I don't know. I don't know how to think about that. I want this. No more coffee. No more orange juice. Lately, I've had the urge for orange juice. And they had this orange juice on sale. It's called Harvey's. It's an Australian orange juice. They had it on sale. It was 2 packs for 135 baht, which is, you know, $4 or so. $4 and some change. So I got 2 of them. So we had 4 orange juices. That was I don't know, 4 days ago. Now we're out. Almost out. Bunch of ladyboys in Thailand. Oh, yeah, so that's you, huh? I wouldn't know about that, man. I wouldn't know. I'm married, you know. And she's not a ladyboy. There's always somebody. All right. Boom. Okay, so let me see here what we got. If this guy's got anything else worthwhile on here. Holy moly. Now, I got to show you something here. This is typical. Jesus Christ, man. Do you plan on going out right away or hanging in to see how everyone goes for a while? Um, yeah, that's a good question. I think I'm going to probably not go to the mall. I'm probably going to end up going somewhere else, though. I may go down to Chinatown or somewhere, anywhere that I can, even to the park or Lumpini Park or somewhere, anywhere that I get a little bit of room where, it's easy for me to make sure that I'm okay. Let's see here. What's going on here? I plan to go out right away with a mask. Well, I mean, I go out now with a mask. It's no big deal. I'm talking about getting back into the swing of normal life. Now, this is something going on in Hong Kong. This is causing a lot of headaches right here. Look at this. You've got this jackass cop who doesn't want to be filmed, doesn't want to be photographed, and so he is pointing a gun, which has happened to me a couple of times when I was there. He's pointing a gun at this kid, and he's got no weapons other than a camera. But they have a real problem with that because, and here's the thing: if a police officer doesn't have a problem, and you're not with, if a police officer is not doing anything wrong, and you are not interfering with his police work, then what is the problem with taking photographs? Now, I don't know if this guy is not the media. It doesn't look like he is, but he could be. Hard to tell from that angle, but normally you would have a vest on. But, this is how it is. And this is, to them, it's like, hey, you're filming me so I can shoot you. That's wonderful. That's just wonderful. And you wonder why, and they don't care that a lot of the world hates them. Now, somebody asked this guy who was talking about the wife, the CCP wife or whatever, how do you cope with disagreements, especially right now? The situation is dire. A lot of families are torn over politics. My conversations with the marriage counselor, unmarried at the time and looking for ways to be a better husband. Oh, Jesus. Always focused on communication. She would prefer to ignore me for the rest of the day and then continue the next day as if nothing happened. Well, there's two sides to that, and one is that, first of all, he did make the choice to be with her. But second, sometimes that's all right to just let him, just shut up, just get away from him, and don't push him. Because you're not going to change somebody sometimes. There are chances you will not change them. You're not going to change how they think, no matter what you say. You can call them stubborn, stupid, whatever you want to call them. But sometimes, for the betterment of your marriage, if I piss my wife off sometimes, I think sometimes it's better I just leave this, the area. I go upstairs in my office or I go out somewhere, I do something, I come back and it's like, it's not a big deal. You cool off a little bit, you go take a walk. But when it comes to something as serious as, hey, I'm pro Hong Kong and you are pro CCP, that's a pretty serious matter. I don't know, but that marriage counseling is going to help that. And there were several people in this chat that told him just divorce the bitch. Let's see here. Sorry to hear this. I'm surprised it's actually possible to date/marry someone who has a lack of empathy. How could it work? Exactly. Uh, yeah, I don't get this. This guy says, I've got a big house in one of the nicer parts of America. It would be more like two people living together and enjoying the outdoors than a close relationship. I worry about the impact that this will have on children. They need a happy youth, like baking cookies on snow days. I think this guy's a little bit um, naive and optimistic. And I don't know him. He calls himself a nerd gone viral. Um, and if you watch some of these episodes of these 90 Day Fiancé, Locked Up Abroad, you see how naive people are or how completely oblivious they are to what's going on. Now, to me, I don't know, but this guy has his eyes open. I can't see how old he is, but he looks maybe, what? Let me see if I can find out what the deal is with him. Okay, he lives in Glenwood Springs, America. He looks to be around, I don't know, 35, 40. He's one of those guys who always wears a hat so that he doesn't show his bald head. Very hard for me to see from what his information is. Let's see. Oh, here we go. 19 years of identity management. Oh, my God. Okay, this is digital. He works for a digital identity management and access control advisory firm. What the fuck is that? Digital identity management and access control advisory firm. What is a digital identity? I mean, is it security or what's the deal? That spans software boundaries. We partner with organizations to architect and deploy identity solutions that deliver data to applications with security, privacy, and coherence. I got no idea what that means. Now, call me computer illiterate. I know a little thing or two, but that's about it. Let's see here. He specializes in shibboleth. What is that? Shibboleth. What the hell is shibboleth? Learn something new every day. A custom, principle, or belief distinguishing a particular class or group of people, especially a long-standing one regarded as outmoded or no longer important. The party began to break with the shibboleths of the left. Oh, Jesus Christ. Usually a choice of phrasing or even a single word that distinguishes one group of people from another. It's a custom or tradition, usually a choice of phrasing or even a single word that distinguishes one group of people from another. I don't get that. I don't know why they've got to call it that. But whatever. Let's see here. Where are we at? Where are we? Oops, here we go. He's worked the gamut from co-chair of the SAML committee to Shibboleth core team emeritus to working along executives to protecting 550,000 sensitive identities. Sensitive identities? I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't trust. I'm sorry, Nate. You might be a great guy, but I wouldn't trust you with my identity if my life depended on it. Protecting 550,000 sensitive identities for a large organization, and to being the person receiving the midnight "it's broken" calls for a smaller one. Spare time is mostly wasted with Wikipedia, though he can be seen with family on hikes and watching League of Legends games. Yeah, I don't understand this, and this is completely out of my realm. And I don't know what to say. So, but this goes to show you. Now, here's this guy, and he must be fairly intelligent, at least when it comes to computers. Um, yeah, and whew, it's hard for me to even. I mean, when you start writing stuff like that, I'm just like, whoa, this is not geared towards the layman, and I am a layman. Anyway, unbelievable. Fucking unbelievable. All right, well, I guess oh, here we go. And now this is pretty funny. I'm going to read these last two ones and then we're going to call it a day. Sometimes a divorce can be the key to a better life. You deserve to live the life you have pictured for yourself and your future children. A life slash home filled with love, care, warmth, built by a healthy relationship. Take care. Um, and how he responds is deserve and entitlement are words I've never really lived by. I feel like I should work for everything I have and that I should give more than I get. That's the only way we can make life better for everyone. I give them up so others who need them get them. But this may be one exception. It's the dream of my life. It's intensely personal. It's everything I've ever wanted. I was young. And it's all about what I want in the future. It's the greatest gift God gave us. Okay, I'm not going to go there. And the greatest gift I could give everyone, life and love. Bless you. Jesus. I don't believe in this stuff, but I have to say it, Jesus. That's a bad opinion. Why can you try to change your partner's values with patience and love? I don't understand that question. Intercultural racial marriage is always tough. I've seen many. At the end, it boils down to mutual acceptance and support soon after the romance part wears off. Not necessarily always on the same channels, but it has to be two-way. Absolutely. I love to agree to disagree. Oh, Jesus Christ. There is such a word as gobbledygook. And that's what I think this guy engages in. No offense. Like I said, I'm out of my realm. But this is what he engages in, and this is what many politicians engage in. Gibberish, also called jibber jab or gobbledygook, is speech that is nonsense. It may include speech sounds that are not actual words or language games and specialized jargon that seems nonsensical to outsiders. There you go. That sums it up. It's exactly what I think. Anyway, I think the stream has run its course like a river, reaching the end, reaching the dam. Let's see something real quick, though. I have a hard time believing that China only had one case of the coronavirus yesterday. Oh, yeah, they got one case. Uh-huh. Like, I believe that. And, you watch certain people, and they are people who are experienced in dealing with China, and every single one of them says, you can't believe a fucking word the CCP says. Get that through your heads. Don't worry about offending them. Don't give a shit. There's only so many shits to give. All right, they don't really have that many figures out right now. China, one. They had one new case. America had 1,008 deaths yesterday. UK had 210. UK's closing in on Spain. Italy's still up there, but they're like fifth in the number of total cases. Thailand's way down there. Philippines, 11,086. They had 7 deaths yesterday. 35 new cases. Sweden, where's Sweden? Can I find it? Sweden has 26,670 total cases, 348 new cases, 3,256 total deaths, and 31 new deaths. I still say they must be doing something right. But Thailand's, let me see something here. Thailand only has 61 serious cases left. And they have 163 active cases. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a screenshot of that. So tomorrow I can check that out and see how many active cases go up, and because I'll forget. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. This has gone on longer than I wanted to. I wanted this to be like an hour to hour and 15 minutes, and guess what? I did it again. Oops, I did it again. Longer than I wanted. If you have yet to subscribe, please do so. Please remember to subscribe and click that bell to make sure you get notified of when I'll be streaming or when a video goes up. Click like, share, and leave a comment. The next stream is supposed to be on Thursday. I've been thinking about taking a day off, though, from streaming, so don't be surprised if one day you get a little message in the community tab that says, "Gone fishing." Remember to be grateful for what you got, not what you don't have. Nobody promised life would be easy. We'll get out of this. I still believe we're going to get out of this a little bit scarred and beat up, but I think we'll get out of it. If you like what I'm doing here and would like to support the channel, take a look in the description or head over to AnAmericanInBangkok.com/Scott. Stay safe. Thank you for watching. Yeah, here we go. This is the fadeaway music, and I'll see you all when I see you.